welcome to One Man's Collection. Today I'm looking at the Formula One Car Collection magazine number 40. So this is a Jean-Pierre Beltoise, I don't know how to pronounce that, BRM P160B from 1972. Now we do have a 143 scale car with this. I will take a closer look towards the end. I do have some issues with this particular model, so I will point those out. It's a great looking model though, but it does have some build faults. So in this particular one, it's a 72 season. The BRM 160 poured down in Monaco, took his first and only Grand Prix win. Okay, technical focus is on this particular vehicle and also the British Racing Motors, the BRM. The circuit on this particular magazine will be the Zandvoort Dutch Grand Prix. A firm fixture on the F1 calendar between 52 and 85. Also, the story so far is the 1989 Prost recaptures the title. So I'm going to have a brief look at these. If you really want to have a look, you can pause. If you want to really read it all, pause the video, have a look. All right, this one, Alpha and Omega. Under the heavy downpours in Monte Carlo, Jean-Pierre Beltoise, Beltoise took a first Grand Prix win of his career at the wheel of a BRM. It would also be the last victory for both parties, the French driver and the glorious British racing team. In the season, waterlogged Monaco Grand Prix, so definitely all about that. So it's a one-car win car, I'm guessing. So was that, looks like he qualified fourth. Who else have we got on there? Emerson Fittipaldi, Jackie Eek, Clay Regazzoni, Peter Geethan, Chris Amon. I don't know some of these others. Jackie Stewart, obviously I know. I recognise some of the other names going all the way. Even Helmut Marko in the other BRM. Helmut Marko raced. Oh, I didn't actually realise that. I knew he was in Formula One, but is that the same one that's making Red Bull decisions? Niki Lauda down the back of the pack in the march forward. Yeah. The helmet that Jean-Pierre Beltoise used in the majority of his career featured a distinctive pattern of white and French blue. Right, okay. Debut season, Brian Redman in the wheel of the official McLaren at Monaco. The British driver was also called to replace the team's lead driver, Peter Revson, who was racing at Indianapolis. Yeah, back in those days where they could jump in and out contracts, these days they stopped them from doing that. Joining Formula One in 1972 as a sponsor of Frank Williams' teams were Italian company Polytoys, who specialised in production of miniature model cars. They financed the creation of Williams' chassis that took their name. The Polytoys FX3 made its bow in the British Grand Prix, driven by Henry Pasquarello. I'm sure I'm not getting that right, but anyway. Pictured here in the march at Nivelles for the Belgian Grand Prix. The brand's hatch, his teammate Carlos Pace drove the March 711 that also featured the colours of the Italian toy company. Yeah, don't see too many toy companies now on Formula One cars though, do you? Can you imagine a Hot Wheels Formula One? I think sometimes you see the Scarlectric had sponsorship there for a bit. Wow, look at the nose on this thing. That's doing some experiment. And the twin nose on that one. Wilson Fittipaldi, elder brother of Emerson, and the Brabham in Austria. Yeah. All right, technical focus, BRM P160. The front of the chassis of the BRM 160 showing the suspension setup. Springs, dampeners, wishbones, and anti-roll bars. The water radiator is housed in the very front of the car. Get the air before it gets hot. Yeah. See the Marlboro advertising. We don't get those on the actual car though, but you can potentially buy a decal kit that you can put that type of stuff on some of these, but because they're considered toys, not allowed to advertise with cigarette advertising. Engine in this one was a 3-litre V12 60 degree, 450 brake horsepower, 11,000 RPM. Very nice. Back in the day when the Formula One sounded awesome. Flash of the former glory, the British Racing Motors. Alright, the arrival of the new 3-litre formula seemed to favour BRM. The company from Bourne in Lincolnshire tested the water with a H16 engine, which proved to be a disaster. The development of the new V12 would be problematic and only bear fruit in the medium term. A H16. Woohoo. I guess they're trying to go for the low down center of gravity with that. Oh man, how small would each cylinder be? 4 difficult years. The season between 66 and 69 were problematic for BRM as they wasted precious time and energy trying to develop the H16 engine. Chris Ernie was seen here in the 16-cylinder P83 Monza. In 1967, the British team enjoyed only one win, thanks to Jackie Stewart in Monaco in 1966, and that was in a car from the previous generation. However, their comeback was just around the corner. Between 70 and 72, BRM enjoyed their last flashes of the former glory, taking victories in 4 Grand Prix races. Very nice. Now, circuit in this particular magazine is, as I said before, the Zandvoort and the Dutch racetrack, which has now made it back in. Maximum speed of 300 kilometers an hour, average speed of 205 kilometers an hour, and a average time of 1 minute 14. I wonder what they're doing right now on this track. Well, you can actually see it used to extend way out. Yeah. Going in Dutch on 30 occasions. Well, it's back again. All right, rankings. Alain Prost, 76 points. What's this one? This is the 89 season. Return of naturally aspirated engines didn't alter the hierarchy on the track. McLaren continued to dominate, but after an even harder fought battle than previous years, it was Prost who edged out Senna. Ed and Senna on 60 points. Riccardo Patrese on 40, and Nigel Mansell on 38, and Terry Bouston 37 points. Yeah. And read the rest of that if you wish. McLaren actually won the championship, 141 points. McLaren Honda. McLaren's days of dominating there. Williams Renault in 77 and Ferrari at 59 points. So only 3 constructors. Wow. You're either first, second, or third, hey? All right, looking on in the future for these magazines, number 41 is the March 711, Ronnie Peterson from 71, followed by the Ferrari SF15T, which is Sebastian Vettel from 2015. In number 42. Cool. All right, we're going to have a look at the Diecast car. Now, this particular car rocks. It's pivoting, so something is designed here that all 4 wheels don't seem to touch the ground, and I think it's maybe one of the wheels is pushed down, but it's a shelf sitter. It's not going to be too much of a problem, and I'll tell you what, it actually looks pretty good. Having a look at the rear end there, reminds me of the back of the DeLorean. Those big, I'm guessing they're radiators. Wow. Sponsorship on the side. Looks pretty good. Well done. No drivers in any of these, obviously, but we do have seat belts, if I can get the light on that. No, we're going to have to turn one on. There we go. Blue seat belts. Harnessing. There we go. As I said, no mobile sponsorship on this one. if you want that, you've got to get it on online, get some decals and pop in the Marlboro cigarette advertising. I'm not too worried about that, to be honest. I mean, I understand what they're doing here, legality and stuff. Looking underneath, nothing but BRM P160B written on it, and actually no other form work there as well. But I do like this. It's much easier also to hold it like that. But the whole rocking part, not a big fan of, but it'll have to sit on my shelf. And it's not a toy to be played with. I'm going to put it on the turntable so you can have a closer look. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day, and I'll be back with Magazine 41 next week. Cheers. Bye.